and for that I'm having 2 peppers. Stuff to do the stuffing. I have my pots prepared, and let's get started by prepping the peppers. So just a small knife, and then you just cut them on the top carefully, you know, make sure you don't cut your fingers. And once you're around, you're just pulling the top out, and then you can just rip out the rest of the seeds and drop them. I usually rinse them after, just to get all the seeds that are still in there out. Something you can do or you don't, however you prefer. And here's the second one. I'm only cooking for myself and my wife, so that's why I'm only doing 2. But you can do, of course, more if you want to. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to rinse my peppers now, and I take the garbage away here, because the rest is already prepared. And then I'll be back in a second. Talking about peppers, you want to make sure that you give them a really good scrubbing before you even start doing anything with them. Because on the outside, peppers retain the most pesticides of most of all vegetables. So you want to make sure that if you use them, just give them a really good scrubbing beforehand. Or buy organic. Okay, small bowl. I have about a 1/4 pound of ground turkey here, but any ground meat will do. You can do it with pork, you can do it with beef. I personally prefer it with half beef and half pork, but that is totally up to you. I have about a 1/4 onion finely chopped here, and I just put that in there. There we go. And then some salt, some pepper. I prefer using white pepper, but that is preference. In German cooking in general, there is more white pepper used than black pepper. And some ground garlic. Again, I use that for convenience, so I don't have to mess with chopping garlic. Teaspoon. And I'm using about half a teaspoon of mustard. That's not the way it's supposed to go. Guess I have to clean that one up before I put it back. And let me put that here. And then I'm also using about the same amount of ketchup, just to give it some more flavor off the bat. Then we put some breadcrumbs in there, and just good shake. There you go. It's probably about a tablespoonful. And then I forgot something in the fridge, and I need to move the camera for that. Okay, and here we go. And that's the last thing. 1 egg. As I hate opening the eggs on the side of the bowl, because I don't want egg running around there. I'm just going to use the spoon, give it a little pat, and then crack it open. Okay. And then we mix the whole shebang for our stuffing. As for the amounts, for 2 peppers I use about a 1/4 pound of minced meat. If you want to use like 4 peppers, use a pound roughly. And up to a pound you can stick with 1 egg. If you want to use more minced meat then, or more ground meat, then you can just up the eggs. And it's the same drill. So everything over a pound I would put 2 eggs in, and take that up to about 2 pounds. We just take the pepper and we put our stuffing inside. Super easy. Just make sure you pack it nicely because there are still some weird holes in there. You'll probably have some left over. I'll show you what to do with the leftover stuffing then. Okay, here we go. Okay, number 1. And let's fill number 2. And I might actually have not enough stuffing here. So much for leftovers. Like I said, I'm cooking for my wife and myself, so I'm just stealing some here so I can fill the other one a little bit more. Perfect. Oh, here we go. Not great, but it does the trick. And it will taste just as fantastic. So, yeah, those peppers were pretty big. Normally when you buy them in the 3-pack, those peppers aren't as big. They were, I bought them separately, so they usually tend to be run a little bit bigger. Okay, cleaning out the bowl, washing my hands, be right back. So as you can see, I have transitioned to the stove because that's where the rest of it is going to happen, at least for now. The first thing we start is we turn the heat up to high under this pot. First thing that goes inside is about 2 spoons. Can you see that? Ah, there we go. 2 spoons of sugar. Of butter. Butter. We use butter. And we throw that in there and we let that melt. In the meantime, we take a glass, pint glass or something like that. And I have chicken stock, and I'm using 2 spoonful of it, and I just, oh, that's all, okay, there we go, that's about 1, well I might just use 1.5, and put that in my pint glass. Another half, off we go. That stock stuff, that Knorr stuff, is amazing, and you can get it usually in supermarkets in the Mexican section or in the South American section, Latin American section. Anyway, so here we go with the glass, and we fill that up with water. There we go, and we just put that in a microwave for about a minute. We just want to get it warm. Oh, in the meantime, see, our butter is all nearly there. Use a little whisk and give it a whirl. Make sure everything is gone. Perfect. Then we have about a tablespoon of flour here, and we just dump that in there. This is to thicken our sauce for when we get started. Okay, perfect. See, we stir that nice. With 2 spoonfuls of butter, you have enough liquid for the 1 tablespoon of flour. It's usually a good mix if you want to go that way. Okay, and we let that sit for a little bit, and we can turn down the heat here. There we go. And now in the meantime, our stock has become hot, and we can just dump that in here. And stir while you do it. Perfect. Don't put the glass too far away, we might need it again. Okay, the same tablespoon that we used for the stock, we just, I put that in a really bad place. We use that for tomato paste, and we will be putting 2 good spoonful of tomato paste in there. There we go, that's number 1. And number 2, you see they can be nice and full teaspoons full. Yeah, okay. If you want it a little bit more tomatoey, you can put some more in there, but I'm sticking with the 2 right now. Give it another whirl. So you see now it's slightly red. Perfect. Now, what you do next is you put your peppers in there. Number 1 and number 2. Now you have your glass, your pint glass that you used for the stock, so just grab some more water with it. That way, we get the last of the stock out there, and we need to fill up the pot anyway. So let's just chuck that in here. And I will get another one. Okay, you see the peppers start moving now. They start swimming a little bit in the sauce. And that's the right amount. So now the only thing you do is you put a lid on it, which I have in another bed place. Here we go. Put a lid on it and let that whole thing sit for now about 30 to 40 minutes. I will give it 30 minutes and then we will check on it. Okay, see you then. Okay, and we are back half an hour later. Let's look into the pot. That looks great. All the white stuff here, that's just protein, and we take that off before we serve it. But that looks good. Okay, now we have 10 minutes more to cook, which means we're doing the rice right now. So, cook smart, not hard. I totally love using those bags because they're easy to use. Just dump them in a bowl, fill it up with water, so that the whole bag is underwater. Bam, you want to have the whole bag submerged like this, and then you just put it on a plate and let it cook for 10 minutes. Well, you wait until it's cooking and then you cook it for 10 minutes. And then we're done. Next picture, the serving.